Careful of this fella, mate. He looks nice, he looks like he's your friend.
Oh, he's trying to turn the tables now.
The evil smile.
Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're looking at the most frightening subjects in Louis Theroux's documentaries.
Have you ever wondered whether you might be part of a cult?
What exactly do you have to be to qualify as a cult?
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Johnny, Louis Theroux, Miami Mega Jail.
You don't feel bad about doing that to a psych patient?
No, they were psych patients. This is not a nut house. If it's in a nut house, then I'm crazy too, so I'm a psych patient too.
Louis headed to Florida to make a film about Miami's enormous jail system, where inmates languish sometimes for years while they await trial, without being convicted of any crime.
That doesn't seem rather brutal and animalistic to you?
No. It's part of life. It's a part of life.
This means that people both ultimately innocent and guilty, as well as those with a variety of mental health conditions, are all held together. In one chilling scene, Louis talks to an inmate named Johnny, who's on his way to do a 30-day stint in solitary confinement after beating a psychiatric patient.
When you're institutionalized, that makes you feel like that's the way I respond, you know? I feel like I'm in a way institutionalized from doing the time that I did out in New York.
Louis wants to know why he did it, and the coolness with which he discusses the attack will send a chill down your spine. He has no remorse for hurting another person.
Was this about respect?
Of course.
In what way?
Everything's about respect. If a person disrespects you, then you assault them, right?
No.
You don't?
Settlers, the Ultra Zionists.
Do you view Palestinians and Jews as equal?
No.
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 In Jerusalem, Louis interviewed Israeli settlers about the fraught political situation in the West Bank.
Do Arabs here have the vote?
To the Israeli
Knesset?
No. No, they do not.
So that isn't democracy.
Yes, it is.
While there, he witnessed shocking attitudes, with most of the Israelis he spoke to insisting that a two-state solution wasn't viable and that all the Palestinians should leave the West Bank and go to another country. He witnessed appalling violence, with rock-throwing protesters rebuffed with guns and gas canisters.
Why are you angry?
These settler communities were and still are considered illegal under international law, with Israelis slowly building deeper and deeper into Palestinian territory. Even Louis found himself subjected to tear gas from the IDF.
Late in the day, seeming to tire of playing cat and mouse with an entire village, the army finally withdrew with a farewell volley of tear gas.
Far-right influences. Forbidden America.
Women should still have the right to vote, right?
I mean, I don't think so, but that's probably not going away anytime soon.
Since 2016, far-right rhetoric and beliefs have become more and more normalized online. Louis wanted to get to the bottom of this, heading stateside to visit extreme political commentators like Nick Fuentes and Baked Alaska. He talks to Fuentes first, who promotes fringe beliefs like abolishing votes for women. Baked Alaska, meanwhile, was one of the most well-known live streamers at the January 6th insurrection in 2021 and tried in vain to get a rise out of Louis.
You've tweeted that Jews control the media.
Yeah, I did that.
You can see how that would be anti-Semitic.
I think anti-Semitic is sort of like a made-up term.
The scary part is that, ridiculous as some of these agitators are, they have tremendous influence online, particularly over young men. It was part of the same subculture Louis would later tackle with his deep dive on the manosphere.
And I think I said something like, ban all Muslims from the US, and then...
You wrote that on Twitter?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it was funny.
Neo-Nazis. Louis and the Nazis.
See, I'm not doing it to go cause pain to somebody just because I find it entertaining to put a swastika on the floor. You told me to act normal.
More extreme than even the current crop of right-wing social media stars were these self-described neo-Nazis Louis visited in the early noughties. The documentary begins with Louis watching a woman tape a swastika on the floor and insisting that it's merely a good look symbol, which really sets the tone for what follows.
What is it you like about the skinheads?
I like about them because they're not hypocritical. They're out in the open. They are what they are. They love what they are, and they don't give a damn what anybody thinks. But they are strong racists, and we need them.
He goes on to meet a former Klansman who apparently left the KKK because it wasn't extreme enough, and has since found an Aryan organization that opposes interracial relationships, among other things.
Louis is a Jew. We already know it. I already know it. You're a Jew. That's why you got so much animosity.
Louis then goes to a skinhead barbecue and gets grilled repeatedly on whether he is or isn't Jewish. It's one of the most intense moments in his whole body of work.
Can we turn the camera off for a second? Pull the plug.
Pull the plug for a second.
What for?
Good. Well, nothing crazy.
Eugene Terre'Blanche, Louis Theroux's Weird Weekends.
Can a non-white person be a Boer?
Never.
Never.
Never. He can never be a Boer.
One of the most prominent neo-Nazis in South Africa, Terre'Blanche was an extremely dangerous person during his lifetime. After violently enforcing apartheid for years, he spent the 90s and 2000s trying to walk back advances in human rights that South Africa had made.
It is not a matter of black and white, my friend. You really do not understand.
Why?
We are not Africans from Africa. We are white people.
In this episode of Weird Weekends, Louis headed to South Africa to talk to him and the remaining Boers who share his beliefs, asking Terre'Blanche outright about his ideology.
You don't want me to rule those two Boer republics as the sole property of the Boer people. Look,
can I make a distinction?
No, you asked me the question and I answer it. No. Definitely no.
At the time, he was mostly focused on trying to establish an African republic, giving the Boers their own city-state built along racial lines. He was ultimately murdered in 2010 after a dispute with workers on his farm.
Can we just lower the tone slightly?
No, you're having the interview with me. I'll choose the volume of the tone. Do you understand me?
Yes.
Khalid Abdul Muhammad, Louis Theroux's Weird Weekends.
We believe that the confusion in the white man's governments of the world, jockeying for New World Order and economic battles that are going on, the dollar, the euro.
Louis wanted to talk to black nationalists in this episode of Weird Weekends, and managed to spend time with the leader of the new Black Panther Party at the time. Khalid Abdul Muhammad was regarded as the most dangerous man in America when filming took place, and had been advocating publicly for extreme policies, so extreme that in the early 90s he was ejected from the Nation of Islam in the US.
I wasn't trying to make a race issue out of it. Oh, you're giving me such a hard time.
Now, how would I give white folks an easy time?
I don't know.
Muhammad was convinced that race relations in the US were reaching some kind of apex. He'd spent the preceding decade organizing events dubbed hate marches in the press, but died of a brain aneurysm not long after this documentary was filmed.
Would you wear these?
No, sir, I wouldn't wear that.
Why?
I'd rather have some pants made out of the white man's skin.
Survivalists, Louis Theroux's Weird Weekends.
When's it all going to happen, do you think?
Well, maybe before the year 2000.
And what will it be?
All-out war.
For decades, America has found itself at the heart of one of modernity's strangest phenomena, Doomsday preppers. Louis traveled to the States again to talk to these rugged survivalists, expressing concern over their ardent belief that the apocalypse is looming.
You against who?
Everyone.
How do you mean?
Well, us against the New World Order.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
In order to prepare for the coming end of times, preppers build bunkers, hoard food, and they also crucially hoard weapons, which makes them dangerous. Louis meets one man who refuses to pay taxes and is prepared to stand his ground against federal agents should they arrive to take him into custody. It's especially unsettling from a British perspective, with our stringent gun laws preventing people from being quite so militant.
My refusal to pay taxes is my right as an American. It's the out-of-control government that wants to put me in jail for that, or to take my home, or to harm my children.
The Westboro Baptist Church, the most hated family in America.
If you see a nation or a people who have risen up with one voice to say that it's okay to be gay, you're looking at a doomed people.
Louis visited the Westboro Baptist Church many times, wanting to know why they were the way they are and why they spend their time picketing the funerals of dead American service people. Far from being a nationwide movement, the Westboro Baptist Church has remained fringe, consisting largely of one family, the Phelpses, descendants of the church's founder.
We are the evil angels.
Evil angel?
Exactly, and it's not because we're evil people, but because we're bringing to you the message of the evil that God has determined upon you.
But extremist views like this remain dangerous, especially when the Western world is currently seeing LGBTQ+ rights slowly rolled back. The Phelpses actively hurt one another though, with numerous people managing to leave the church and going through years of therapy to overcome what they describe as brainwashing.
What did you say?
The Jew church.
That sounds a little anti-Semitic when you say the Jew church.
These people hate God and worship the rectum.
Ed Matthews, Louis Theroux inside the manosphere. While Louis spent most of his Manosphere documentary talking to HS Tiki Toki and Myron Gaines, he briefly encountered another influencer, Ed Matthews, who was quite possibly the most sinister of them all.
His content combined fitness, online flirting, and conspiracy theories.
Louis followed Ed while he attempted to pick up women while insisting to all his young male fans that Louis Theroux was just a filmmaker as opposed to a nonce. The reason? Matthews makes content about catching alleged sexual predators, tracking them down, and attacking them on camera with minimal proof.
He would confront and humiliate people he accused of being predators.
I can't lie, this one's gonna be madder than that one.
Even HS called Matthews evil. After filming, Matthews ended up hauled in front of a judge to answer for illegally removing his ankle tag, which he was wearing to be monitored after an assault charge.
In several recent encounters, Ed forced them to eat pet food.
Jimmy Savile, when Louis met.
15 years after I first met him, and 3 years after the revelation of his vast offence history, I decided to speak to some of the people who'd known Jimmy Savile.
Few people have ever been as frightening as Jimmy Savile, one of the most prolific sexual predators in history. It's impossible not to be disturbed watching either Louis' original documentary about him or the film he made revisiting the subject after Savile's death once the truth had come out.
My actual reaction was along the lines of, poor Louis. He's really been hoodwinked here.
As ever, Savile is chilling, explaining to Louis that he avoids getting scrutinized too heavily on certain allegations by insisting that he hates children.
The easy way of doing it when they say, oh, you have all them children, Jim will fix it. You say, yeah, I hate them.
Yeah,
That's
to me that sounds more sort of suspicious in a way.
Hard luck.
Because it seems so implausible.
Louis talked years later about how he, like many people, was manipulated by Savile, who hid in plain sight for decades with extensive access to vulnerable people through his charity work.
On one of our last days of filming, I'd asked about the rumours that swirled around him.
Let us know in the comments which video you want us to do next.